A gas explosion near Huntingburg destroys a dehydration unit. Kerry Schneider brings us his weekly report from the DuBois County Humane Society. And Kurt Guxell talks DuBois County Bombers ahead in sports. Those stories and much more are up next here on 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. In your news, a fire at the Huntingburg gas field yesterday evening started up when something inside of a dehydration unit exploded. The explosion took place near County Roads 500 West and 750 South just before 7 p.m. last night. Crews from the Holland and Huntingburg fire departments were called to the scene to contain the flames. Officials say both 500 West and 750 South were closed near the explosion area for just under 3 hours last night while the fire was being controlled. No injuries were reported in the blast and no evacuations were necessary. However, the dehydration facility at the gas storage field was destroyed. Officials say some customers near the facility were without gas service for about 3 hours last night, but that service has since been restored. DuBois County Sheriff's deputies, Huntingburg Gas Utilities, the Holland Town Marshal, DuBois REC, and Memorial Hospital EMS also assisted at the scene. A string of hit-and-run accidents yesterday evening resulted in a Huntingburg man's arrest. Jasper police received reports of a silver Chevy Camaro that had hit two parked vehicles in the Old National Bank parking lot along 2nd Street and left the scene about 3:30 yesterday. Police later located the vehicle at the Mighty Clean Car Wash along Indiana Street. Police say the driver, 19-year-old Jacob Hill of Huntingburg, had been heading southbound on US 231 approaching 2nd Street when police say inhaling toxic vapors caused him to black out. Police then say Hill crossed the center line and hit a vehicle driven by 70-year-old Carolyn Denton of Otwell, who was southbound on US 231 and had been attempting to turn east onto 2nd Street. Hill's car then traveled off of the east side of the roadway into the Old National Bank parking lot, striking two unoccupied vehicles, one registered to 33-year-old Keisha Edwards of Petersburg, and the other registered to Toyota Motor Credit Union of Atlanta, Georgia. Hill was arrested and lodged in the DuBois County Security Center. He faces a Class B misdemeanor for inhaling toxic vapors and a charge of leaving the scene of an accident. Nobody was injured. Hill's car was totaled, while Denton's car suffered $500 in damages, Edwards' car suffered $5,000 worth of damage, and the Toyota Credit Union car also suffered $5,000 worth of damage. 4 Jasper women were arrested yesterday after an altercation took place between them. Jasper police were called to a residence in the 500 block of Skyview Drive at 5:50 p.m. last night on a report of a physical altercation between 4 women. Police say 27-year-old Brenda Hines, 27-year-old Melissa Schwartz, 21-year-old Nicole Gunter, and 19-year-old Jamie Pate, all of Jasper, had been involved in an altercation at the scene. All 4 women were arrested and lodged in the DuBois County Security Center on battery and disorderly conduct charges. Pate faces an additional charge of criminal mischief. A Ferdinand man who refused to leave a residence in Huntingburg was arrested early this morning. Huntingburg police were called to a residence in the 700 block of Church Avenue at 1:30 a.m. this morning on a report of an unwelcome man at a residence. Upon arrival, police found 31-year-old Justin MacDonald of Ferdinand at the residence and found a bag of marijuana on him. MacDonald was arrested and lodged in the DuBois County Security Center on a Class D felony charge of possession of marijuana with a prior conviction. The homeowner did not pursue residential entry charges against MacDonald. Last night, the DuBois County Airport Authority met and considered feedback received from the patrons that use the Huntingburg Airport. Recently, the board has heard nothing but positive feedback stemming from employees who interact with pilots utilizing the airport, specials on fuel, and board members volunteering for the airport budget. Travis McQueen, a member of the DuBois County Airport Authority, says this past month they've received nothing but good comments.
What kind of comments are we receiving? What kind of feedback are we getting? You know, airnav.com is a nationwide website that pilots utilize to both flight plan and check pricing of fuel. And the comments that were received, to date in the last month, in the last 30 days, has been very positive about our airport and their experience coming in here to our facilities.
McQueen says the positive feedback the board is receiving is clearly shown through the total number of gallons the airport is funneling through its fuel system.
FBO report of the total gallonage we have funneled through the fuel system to date, in excess of 19,500 gallons. So we're approaching 20,000 gallons in about 3 months of business, which is a really good sign. We've ordered another load of fuel both today and tomorrow will be arriving. So that's a good sign as well.
The Huntingburg Airport goes through roughly 28,000 gallons of fuel per year, according to historical figures. McQueen says they are closing in on that figure in only 5 months, meaning the airport is seeing more business, which McQueen says is critical for the growth of the Huntingburg Airport. Coming up after the break, Kerry Schneider brings us his weekly trip to the Humane Society. Plus, 90-degree heat is possible for tomorrow, but a cool down is set to follow. That ahead in your local forecast. Sports with Kurt Guxell, and Inform featuring BUJC Dean Dr. Alan Johnson. That's all up next here on 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.